this is currently the last one registered, so
against two pretty high-level runners, so it should be a good one.
it sure will. And they are off. So since we have time with that cutscene that we cannot skip so far, X3 intro is pretty execution based, except the last boss that can troll you a bit by mashing you. Well, it always depends on the RNG for that, but the rest of the stage is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, you really just want to buster through all these enemies in this intro stage. Get them out of your path and just keep chaining dashes basically throughout the beginning of this before Zero shows up.
And you want to try to avoid using the blue charge, since you will make the game lag a bit. And lagging means you're going slower.
Everybody's favorite Maverick.
He doesn't get enough time. We don't get to appreciate him too much.
In the speedrun, it's like you hardly see what he does, but you know, he actually does have some moves. He can fight back if you let him.
Most of the time, if he does, it's just because you were watching somewhere else while practicing.
I say both get the gap jump with Zero at the top of that ladder.
Zam had some issue to get. He got it, but kind of fall down. Time that happens when you get the gap.
Yeah.
So, straight up, Zam with the swag.
Yeah, they both went for the purple shot too. It was a weird sync. Looks like Zam doing a jump though. Oh, they both go for left.
I don't know if this Pokemon had. That was a pretty funny sync right there. Both missing it and getting in on the second try, pressing the door at the same time.
Must have talked about it beforehand.
So, this is the fight I was talking about. This guy can do nothing, or like on Zam's side, actually trying to hit X, which if you're not careful enough, trying to release a shot when he's hitting you, it will get cancelled, and you will have to recharge. So you're losing time on that.
Yep. If he only hits you once, you have to have the charge shot at the very end to do the last shot. So if you end up being able to keep that charge, it doesn't lose you that much time if you get hit at the very end.
That's true. So coming up, Buffalo stage, ice physics being one of the weirdest things in X3, except that everything hit so badly. The ice make you, as you're saying, accelerate quite a bit. So they're using the slop to maximize the speed while dashing, and at some part of the game able to jump out of it to cross the furthest camp.
Yeah, the ice physics in this stage make it a pretty cool stage to watch, like at high level with all the gaps, and I think EaB and Zam both tried to get a turnaround right there for that ladder. That's, I don't know if it's like super new tech, but I saw Zam was doing it.
I don't know, I think he was trying for, as he just did right there, doing a turnaround, which even on even floor on ice, because ice physics is weird, you get the same increase in your jump that you hold on the slop, and it's like in X1 and X2. So they are abusing this to avoid doing some wall kick, which is slower.
Now they both get the boot upgrade, which is actually the only upgrade we're getting in any percent. It allows for Saber Neons later, similar to like X2 Neon jumps. And we also have the up dash and air dash, which we can use in some of these stages in certain sections to optimize it a bit.
These two are a really high level player, so I don't know if they are gonna grab any extra item, like a heart or something for safety. But we will see.
I think so, but you never know.
Both of them doing right now what we call the CFO strat on Buffalo. Basically, what you're doing is going away, shoot a lemon, which will do 1 damage, and use the time frame that you need to get back to him to release a blue shot, and keep jumping, air dash between them to make sure that when he's turning around, Buffalo will think you're behind him and turn back.
Yeah, it makes that trivial fight of Buffalo a little bit more interesting if you can pull off the CFO strat really well. Sleeper, if you're just, standing in front of him and baiting his AI to...
Yeah, but when you're learning the game... When you're learning the game, it's pretty free, even if you're not familiar with the game, to just jump when he's turning around, so it's a really safe strat. So in Seahorse, we're seeing how X3 is kind of different of the other game. There's a lot of vertical movement, so they're trying to maximize their wall kick, sometimes double jumping, to make sure they are getting the extra height they need to avoid having to wall kick again, because you're losing time over just jumping off from a platform.
Yep, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 2 vertical climbs in this stage can be pretty cool to watch. The first one has, like you said, a bunch of double kicks, and then the second one there's a few ledge grabs and a ladder gap at the very end that you can get for maximum swag points.
Yes, indeed. That was a nice kill on Zam, just taking the damage and not moving at all, just smashing through and getting a nice quick kill on that mini boss. Hardest gap in the game.
Yeah, right. It looks like they both miss it, but that's okay.
And you often come out of that climb with a dash to make your movement faster, but by moving faster, it just make it harder to actually get into the gap. So coming up, quick kill on Seahorse. Basically, you're shooting ice, and while he's on iframe, after you wait just a little bit, as you're seeing from both of them, you start mashing ice, and you're able to damage him on every frame, I believe. Something like that.
Yeah, it's got a pretty tricky timing. It looks like Zam and EaB both had a really similar fight, but Zam just didn't have the timing quite as much, or wasn't mashing fast enough and had to wait one more iframe cycle.
Which is not that bad over doing it the normal way, which just... I don't see why you will try to do that.
The way you slice it, Seahorse fight is pretty quick and pretty free.
Even if you get a 3 or 4 cycle, it's not... Over time, you're going to be able to figure out how to do that 2 or 3 cycle. So I believe both of them are going for Rhino next, which is one of the most dangerous stage of the game, where everything will hit you, kill you, do anything with you if you're not careful enough. As this falling ball, the rocky one, can do, I believe it's 6 damage on contact, so you really want to avoid them.
Yeah, like the little robot boulders. Looks like Zam and EaB both going for that.
That's a nice strat.
the right wall ledge grab. It's pretty cool.
Also getting that kill, making the movement just a couple of frames faster, I believe.
Oh no, EaB going for the boulder skip and was a little too low.
Zam getting it, but having... Whoa! some trouble with the drill, man.
It wasn't like the like where he died. It didn't waste that much time, but the problem now is we're gonna see
Different
Tunnel Rhino actually doing stuff.
Yeah, because if you die on the second half of the stage, I believe, the AI on Rhino is gonna change and he's gonna get way more difficult. It should not be a problem for this runner, but they are probably still gonna lose time because there's some action you can do that just lower the time that you are able to hit him.
Nice.
Pretty nice stage on both player right there. As you're saying, that was really one of the best ones you could have in that stage, since the checkpoint is not that far off. Dying after the mini boss though will bring at the same spot that EaB had, so you want to die the less possible.
Looks like Rhino's not really doing much else different for EaB. Oh, there's throwing a few drills, but at the beginning it was looking the same.
You can throw some drills in 3 ways, like we just did, and you can also shoot a drill that will duplicate and go straight at you. It's not a big deal to deal with, but still will block the shot if you are trying to shoot it straight at him. You have to go over it.
I noticed recently, actually, doing low percent runs is if you do the spread shot of the acid, you hit him with the spread shot, it actually does less damage, I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
it only does 2 and not the 3. I always thought it did the same, so I was like throwing the acid upwards whenever he would do a drill, but it's actually a bad idea.
It was an interesting backup, but you want to take the slow shot that does a curve over it instead of shooting the roof.
Mini boss right here is a pretty cool quick kill. Takes 5 shots. Looks like Zam just barely missing it though.
EaB as well.
You shoot off 2 and then you mash the other 3 as fast as you can, doing an air dash up to his head.
Missing the quick kill is not a big time loss. Just satisfying to get it.
But yeah, and also something to note is with the drill mechanic, it's kind of strange. It's been explained by a lot of different people. But it's basically just like you shoot a drill at enemies and it, for some reason, disables their hitbox. Like in the brief moments right when you shoot it at them. I don't think.
That's about it. Then people are using that to abuse that mechanic and just dash through enemies in some part of the game. You're gonna see that a couple of times again, so don't be surprised if you see people just dashing through enemies and not getting hit.
I'm having a pretty clean bit fight. At this point, it'll look like EaB's way ahead, but he hasn't fought Bit yet, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yep.
Who didn't fight Rhino, I don't think.
So
you're at this stage, he'll line back up with Zam.
Yeah, you're gonna fight Bit, who is the yellow guy that Zam just fought, and between the 3rd and the 5th stage. And then you're gonna fight Bite on the 6th to the 8th stage. Both of them you don't want to kill them with their weakness, which is why you're seeing them use some strategy with the Buster to make sure they are not destroying them, because they're gonna have to sit through an explosion of 13 seconds or something. And if you destroy both of them, that's 26 seconds, and you're gonna fight another boss at the end, which is a nightmare to deal with.
was a little worried on Zam's side. He was pretty low on health, but it looks like he made it through.
As long as he was not taking a straight shot to the face, he was probably fine. So coming up, Catfish stage, quite an interesting one in my opinion. Pretty fun to play as well. Ooh, that was a nice rhyme on the EAB there.
Yeah, the left wall drill strat was pretty cool.
I have no idea how to do that. Seems pretty easy, right? But I never pulled it off.
I've practiced it a bit. It's kind of tricky for sure.
Because the other point about the drill that we didn't mention, when you're shooting a drill at an enemies, you're disabling their hitbox, but as well, you're delaying their time of action. They are not gonna do anything when they are getting stuck by the drill. So that's how that climb works. They're just shooting the enemies before he shoot, and using the fact that he's not going to shoot for a short amount of time to keep going up. It's kind of tricky.
Yeah, it's an interesting mechanic. You don't usually, I guess, take note of a lot of times in the speedrun, but recently, actually, when you do the elevator skip, not the elevator skip itself, but the snails, if you shoot them with drills as well, they start climbing a lot slower and going slower in general. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. So right now we pretty much have almost a sync up on both runner coming into Catfish. So depending on how many drills both of them get, we could see a change bleed. So
gonna come up to Catfish RNG, it looks like, for who's gonna be ahead at this point.
We are not using the drill, which is the weakness for Catfish, for the simple reason that the high frame is so long beside the buster. So we are trying to abuse the fact that until he is below 16 HP, we are trying to use him and manipulate him into jumping to the wall and doing that kind of stuff to try to save up time, because each drill you're able to save over the 8 drill you will normally need if you were to not do anything after half HP is 3-second time loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a common theme with pretty much all the Mavericks, is they've got super long iframes when you use their intended weaknesses.
I think both pretty much got the same amount of drills. Not sure.
Yeah. About same, yeah. AB throwing some acid, pretending there's enemies when there's not, you know. Do that in this game because there's a lot of extra stretches of kind of just nothing.
Just pretty much trying to make it more entertaining for people. So we are having fight right there. Pretty much what you want to do using the drill, you're gonna get 4 hits on him on all of them, but Sam is going to go for a strat there where he releases a drill while there's another one still there to cancel one of the shots. Then the drill will keep going just as he did. Let him with 1 HP left, and the drill is despawned, so he can switch Buster to finish him off. In worst case, you can always press start and just change weapon to remove the drill, though.
Yeah. I'm not sure I was paying close attention to EAB's side, but it looked like kind of a weird climb. Some of that debris that comes down, it's all random, and you're just kind of hoping that the Triad Thunder is going to block it, but sometimes
you're on CD and cannot use it again.
So while we don't want to kill Bit and Bite with their weakness to make them explode, we're actually going to be killing Bile with his weakness. The reason you do that is because in Doppler 2, it appears as if he's like already gone through the stage, and he'll have killed the mini boss in the stage. But we need that mini boss because that's what triggers the cutscene with Zero to get the saber.
I think the stage is a bit faster with Vile, but that's for low percent. The saber will save so much time over time in the refight and the rest of the game that you really don't want to miss it. So both getting their kill with the weakness. I think EaB as well finished with no ammos at all, which is the optimal way to do it, but can be scary if you're missing a shot and you don't realize it, and at the end you just shoot the last shot you had, but you're not killing him. You don't want to finish him off with the buster. You're gonna die and retry again because you're not gonna be able to get the saber if you do finish him with the buster.
Pretty heartbreaking way to lose a run. Yeah.
Because you're not gonna have ammos coming back. You can use acid to refill it. You're gonna lose a lot of time to do so. And if you're not filled up, you're gonna have to fight him, buster only, and just fill him up with the Ray Splasher.
Alright, so in this crawfish fight, something similar to Seahorse is he's got some weird glitched iframes that in the middle of, after using his intended weakness to Triad Thunder, you can kind of just mash shots into him as fast as you can. And it looks like EaB just about got the 2 cycle, but was 2 damage off. Pretty close though.
The only way to get the 2 cycle is just being able to mash fast and switch weapon fast enough that you're able to use the buster as soon as you can. You can always finish him when he is 3 HP or below with a Triad Thunder, so it's fine.
Bite yet.
Yep.
Just round 2, Zam had Bit before EaB had Bit, so it's kind of the same.
So they're probably about almost sync up still. We will see after they finish fighting the Mavericks, or if EaB fight Bite in the room coming up soon.
Oh, he gets the Bite fight.
There we are. So we will see as EaB finish that fight and leave the room how close they are so far.
EaB doing a similar strategy that Zam did. He's throwing an extra drill, it looks like, before moving over to the other side, but as soon as Bite throws his like little magnet mine thing, that's when you want to shoot that last couple of drills into him and then have him bash his head into the wall behind you.
So EaB is ahead by about 2 seconds, I would say. That's a strategy I never saw before.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. The acid strat.
Both getting pretty clean climb right there.
Not really that far ahead. Zam pretty much right on his tail.
It's not a beetle that will change the flow of this game. Let me just tell you that.
Yeah.
we are talking about Buffalo
balls
being free, but this one is beyond that.
It's a huge game changer. This is like the huge RNG barrier of the run.
Let's see if any of them is able to match the jumping of Beetle. Seems like we are not seeing any swags. movement over there. Sometimes people just sync up their jump with Beetle because we don't have much to do except making sure we are shooting as he does. Or you can dash under him as well.
All right, and on to our last Maverick, Blast Hornet. It has a couple of low percent jumps right at the very beginning of this elevator skip that I would imagine they both go for, but maybe not. They don't save a whole lot of time because you already have the up dash in this category, so
You're just saving the animation of the up dash instead of doing just a dash wall kick. So we will see how they face that.
it looks like they're both going to be.
Them going for it, getting it on the second try on the last jump, while EaB went for the up dash. It's safer, and you're not losing that much time, especially since the low percent strat that you're not using the up dash. If you miss it and fall down, you're gonna start losing time anyway.
Kind of hard to get the setup back.
That was some nice swag acid shot on EaB. Timing his shot so the travel time will hit as soon as the iframe are gone.
Top section. That's a really good strat to do because, like you had said in the very early on of this race, is full charge shot, especially on that roof section too, which is cluttered with enemies, can cause a ton of lag.
Yep, so abusing the fact that X3, we didn't mention that yet, the dash lemon we knew from X1 and X2 work on some enemies, not sure if it's all of them, but it won't work on boss. So that's why we are using the charge shot when we are not using their weakness.
Yeah, in the Hornet fight, we're also not using the intended weakness. Instead, we're going to start off with a charge shot and then switch to a secondary weakness. And the iframes are a lot shorter.
Yep. Also, when you're seeing them climb the wall there before he shoot the bees, that's just for lag control. There's no other reason than that, because when he's shooting the bees, just create a lot of lag.
Yeah, they start flying down to the floor.
And they also get in your way for having better movement.
With that, they are both done with the 8 Mavericks and on to the Doppler stages. Pretty dangerous stuff, just because, like we had said before, there's a lot of contact damage from enemies and this boss, especially. It's gonna kill you in either 1 or 2 hits. Pretty fluid movement. It shouldn't be that much of a problem for our 2 runners here.
That's often what we say, that the game begins about in the final stage. I'm getting the acid shot through gap. Nice.
It kind of does a weird thing after you do it too, that it, some pixels up above the ladder. I'm not really sure why that happens.
Pretty clean execution. So there we have, I believe it's T-Rex 2000 or something like that, which is kind of referring X1 T-Rex.
Like, as the original D-Rex, but 1 charge shot and 2 ice.
And they are making sure that they are releasing an eye shot a bit away from him to be able to dash through the right side of the screen. Because after you kill him, there's a cutscene that activates where X will just walk by himself through to reach 0. So if you're on the left side of the screen, you're gonna walk all the way until you reach him. That's why we damage boost over him to save that whole time loss.
But the only downside, I guess, is you are going to be taking a hit, and that pretty much leaves you defenseless against the God Car Machine. God Car Machine has basically 2 things that he'll do when he's in front of you. He'll try to reach his hand out to grab you and then do a punch attack, or he'll use his saber, which you can dash underneath. So as long as you're like familiar with those 2 patterns, it's usually a pretty free fight. But here and there, with X3, you never know. It's going to drop an input here or there, and then your dash doesn't come out and you're sabered in the face. But they both have a pretty clean fight.
So the next stage is one of the most technical stage, also one of the most deadly ones, because these red guys we're gonna see right there at the beginning does 8 damage on contact, and their lasers does do 4 damage. So you want to avoid touching any of these. And to mention, their hitbox are huge. You can try to do you see them jump and do an air dash, because doing a dash jump over them is pretty precise. And taking the risk to take 8 damage is not worth it. So Mosquito fight there, pretty much straightforward. Release a charge shot at the start of the fight, because you released 1 before getting in there, and then use the saber as quick as you can. Maybe some RNG factor that the guy will get over you, but never actually do anything for a couple of seconds. That's RNG only.
What? 0 tanks the hit against that Mosquito's mini boss, and is like, my saber. Elevator pretty cleanly. Just 1 more saber neon and a weapon cancel, and he's good.
It seems so easy when you're seeing these runners do it, but it takes a lot of practice to figure it out. And Zam at the end, right there, hitting the setting and falling a bit down, came really close to get hit by these flying guys.
Kind of understating it at the point, but they're both playing really well, so it's pretty cool. Oh boy. I'm making it a bit scary going around those missiles. And the Volt Core guy will actually fight back a little bit.
So after the elevator skip, what's coming up is pretty much just the refight, which by itself is not difficult with the saber. But if you want to optimize every single of them, there's some few things you can do there and there, which can really make a big difference at the end. So like for Arnett right there, they're gonna go to the right, charge up, release, and just so they manipulate him so he will fall down and get hit by the saber. This little thing are on every boss.
Yeah, it's important to note as well, you can't actually release the saber until the shot is off screen. So best thing to do is go against the wall anywhere you can and shoot it off screen. Just so you can get the saber out a lot quicker. Also see him, they're hitting him from the back as well. The hitbox on the saber releases from behind X as he pulls it out, so you can actually do damage on the bosses that way as well. and it's actually quicker too because it's the first frame that the saber comes out. So the quicker you can hit the guy, the better.
Yes, and as you said, we cannot release the saber as long as the shot is not off screen. That's why you saw them move away from Buffalo to release the shot instead of just releasing it right off after charging. So that way they can release the saber faster. All little improvement and optimization for these refight.
Yeah, I see EAB going a lot, going for the behind the back. Saber hits a lot, so it's pretty cool to get to show that off.
If you're able to do that on a lot of bosses, you're gonna save at least a few seconds, I would say, because it's a couple of frames at least on every single saber you release.
That up.
It's riskier though, because the hitbox of the saber when you're facing forward is pretty big, so you're pretty sure of hitting them most of the time. Behind your back, the hitbox is shorter, so you have to be close to the hitbox, and you can take damage when you're doing that, which will cancel saber. So a risky strat for a couple of seconds that maybe not be worth all of the time.
Cleaning up shop pretty quick on these refights. You noticed in the Seahorse fight, and it looks like Zam might be going to that next, maybe. But with those glitched iframes, you can just throw the saber in between it, and it just drains his health instantly. And you'll see the same thing with Crawfish as well.
That little jump that Zam did for that ice shot is something you kind of have to do, because something we didn't mention, the ice, you're hitting the Seahorse with ice, the longest are his iframe. So they are using that time to be able to charge the saber in time to just smash it and be able to one-shot him. Pretty much the same with Crawfish that we just missed. Tiger is tricky pre-fight for one reason. The saber is a charge shot, so he's able to completely block it. So you are either going to try to trick him and release a shot, so he's gonna block and hit him when you're able to hit him again, or you have to hope he's going on the wall from one side or another where he cannot block it.
Yeah. Zam just finishing his final refight as EAB is making it through the door on his way to Doppler.
I believe both will go for the quick kill. Pretty scary, but it's worth it.
They both grabbed some health drops, I think, just for insurance on this.
Because Doppler on contact does about 8 damage, if I recall, or 4. Nicely done.
Yeah, I think as long as you have full health or close to full health, if you accidentally mess it up,
you're fine.
So you take that first hit from his like little energy ball, but then you dash into him and then release the saber behind the back shot. But I'm pretty sure if you miss it and bonk him, you're not gonna die. But
you're not gonna die if you're full HP. I can tell you that.
I think that's why they both went for that health, just in case.
So coming up, Kaiser and Captain America. Both pretty trivial fight if it goes well. If you're messing up your timing, if the RNG are not going your way and the mine hit you, there's a lot of things that can happen. So this race is not over until they reach the top, the stage. Nice quick kill.
Thankfully, I'm pretty sure I saw they both got the saber gap jump on that ladder, so both of these runs will be perfectly valid now that they did that.
Yeah. On Zam, you saw that he tried to go for the fast kill and missed the hit. For some reason, sometime I'm really not sure about this because I mess it up sometime and sometime I don't. But you don't get the hit, and you're facing a couple of fireball, and they do 8 damage on contact.
Ooh, Zam.
When I saw him go to the left there, I was kind of scared.
Yeah, I really thought he was gonna play it safe and just wait it out for the second cycle, but nope, he went for it.
The safe strat will be that they stay on the right side and avoid the missile, and then they just can go to the left end and get their 2 shot they will need.
EAB with a 40-50, I'm pretty sure I saw. So he is the winner of this race.
It's a 40-59 according to SRL, and a 41-10 on Zam.
True, because he's
both runners.
That's right.
That was a pretty nice race. So if you're not already, follow the guys. They did a really nice run.
A sub 40 or sub 41, which is a very, very good time, and then Zam just not that far off either. So that was
about a 10-second difference at that level of gameplay. I mean, that was a nice race. So I believe that was the last race for the group. I don't know how we will set it up with the group that still have some race to do.
Happens next. This is the last race for. Yeah, the deadline's over, isn't it?
And for Group E, which is the one for Zam and EAB, that was the last race of their group, and both of them are actually moving up for the elimination bracket. So we're going to be able to see both of them performing again. I don't know if they're going to jump in for some commentary or just play it smooth and relax.
Yeah. I'm not in the race channel, so I'm not sure what they're saying.
I was, but I just left to be able to look at the bracket.
I guess if anybody was to hop in, it'd be Zam, but yeah, it's up to him.
So from tomorrow, they are gonna be moving up, who's going for the elimination, fixing the bracket, and then we will see what's going on the elimination section. So we have Zam coming in. Nice race.
Yeah, it ended up pretty close.
One of the closest in the tournament, if I recall.
Well,
that was a nice one for final race.
Yeah, it's pretty close for the group stage. Group stage is where like everyone has pretty different PBs compared to each other because it's like the most harshly seeded, I guess.
Indeed. So what are you thinking about your run? Anything that just kind of make you out of balance, or?
A handful of things were like pretty awkward that threw me off. Like when my Buffalo stage started to go bad, it went like pretty dang bad. Because like when you're abusing the ice physics properly, it goes really nice and smooth. But when you start messing it up, then they actually start like really messing with your movement negatively, and it's hard to adjust to that.
That little dance with the ice ball.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Pretty funny.
Like, in practice, I wasn't missing that strat at all. I was just catching the left wall easy every time, and then, yeah, do the race, and then I do the jump too early, and then I end up getting stuck because ice physics.
And you're trying to dash your way out, but if you're not jumping before switching on the D-pad, you're gonna start to slide one side and another.
Yeah. And then I got kind of boxed in by the enemy himself.
I got to admit though, that Kaiser kill at the end
was clutch.
Yeah, I knew that was my only chance. I just knew that or I was gonna die.
I mean, that was a good game ball though.
It was working like an extremely high percentage of the time in practice. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just go for it.
That fight damage list is just no way I'm trying to do that in a tournament race. That was pretty ballsy.
The worst case scenario, like, will one of those mines actually get in the way if you try to go for that?
Yeah, they can. Like, I think one time what happened was when I jumped up to do the saber, that's like when a mine popped out from right behind Sigma and just hit me immediately. I was like, well, I couldn't even see that one.
That X3 for you.
I took a hit on Captain America, so I really didn't have a choice. I had to do it damageless.
Mm.
Yeah, that
Stop
hit
it for the
was
fast
quite
one.
fortunate.
There's one other thing I thought was pretty funny. Like, right at the very end of the elevator skip, there was that one helicopter that was like 2 inches.
Yeah, I saw that.
You were pixels away from that one, and that could
Saw
have
that guy.
been a disaster.
Yeah, it would have been pretty nice. Fall all the way back down. Think about my life.
No, there's a way to save that though. You can just take the fact that you are on iframe and get on that snail somehow.
Yeah.
As long as you're keeping your calm, there's always some kind of way to save that skip.
Yeah, if you have enough health and you keep your composure, you can salvage some really wacky, messed up elevator skips.
But gladly it didn't happen and you managed to make your way up.
Yeah. Yeah, I was already behind enough. I didn't need to mess that up too.
You're saying that, but we are talking about maybe 4 or 5 seconds. It was a close race from beginning to end.
So
Yeah,
moving forward, I
thankfully
guess.
EAB had a death in there to even things up a bit.
So do you think you'll probably match up with him one more time in this tournament, perhaps?
Well, I mean, I'd have to see how the bracket looks.
Well,
Or maybe we'll see.
It's possible we see each other pretty
You're
soon,
gonna be
or if we're on
both-
opposite sides.
yeah, you're gonna be both pretty much next to each other on timing.
Ooh. Alright, well, maybe we will. Maybe we
So
will.
you're
see
gonna
each
be
other
probably on different side, but who knows? Maybe the final.
again. Yeah. Supposing someone knocks out Louise.
Never know. Luis had a death in his first race. Didn't happen still though. X3 is kind of brutal. Even if you're a top tier, you got to be careful.
Yeah, totally. I need to
Any
practice a
little
lot
thing.
more to do a lot more runs. My summa best isn't even close to world record. Louise could die and still beat me.
That may actually be the case for a couple of people in this tournament. Me included.
Yeah,
Not
I think
even sure
very
if
few
I get
people-
my sum of best. He could die and get a game over and still beat me.
Just as long as he doesn't like get a game over on Doppler and then still beat you.
I don't think so. Alright, so really fun race. Followed the runners. Did a really nice job. Pretty nice time as well. Top 5 in the tournament, I believe. Both of them.
GG to you guys.
And I think that's it for today. There's nothing more.
Are you looking at the calendar? Do you know if there's anything after this for Speed Gaming 2?
No, and either for Speed Gaming 1. So that was it for tonight. Starting tomorrow, what's coming up? We don't have anything until Wednesday, which will be linked to the past randomizer. Not sure what, because the tournament is over, but there may be some kind of event that's gonna be a host by Speed Gaming. So we will see. So that was MDoys with Darwin Valley in commentary. Thanks for watching, people.
It was a good race. Be sure to follow the runners, obviously, and maybe the commentators too. You know,
We did a good job.
myself and MDoys. Yeah, right.
All
Well,
right.
I'm gonna sign out then. See you, MDoys.
See you.